Welcome back to IAS Net Study, and this is the ethics series. And in this ethics series, this is the 15th video, and we are discussing the third unit, aptitude. Now we are going to take up individual values, and we are going to have a detailed discussion on these individual values. One thing, these values are very much necessary to understand the basics of ethics, and another aspect is that if you understand these values, it is easier for you to solve the case studies. And also, these values, understanding of these values comes in handy to express your thought process in the examination. So let's get into the discussion. So in this video we are going to take up two values. One is integrity, second one would be dedication to the civil services or the upliftment of weaker sections, right? Integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is being honest, and this honesty is that you are honest when nobody is watching. Integrity, usually basic, it is honest. Extension of honesty is integrity. I am honest when nobody is watching because I am accountable to my conscience. I am answerable to my conscience because being honest, being sincere, being truthful, these are my values. So if I don't follow my values, I don't feel comfortable. I feel that I am betraying my own consciousness. So here I am answerable to my conscience. So integrity, it is being honest when nobody is watching you, right? Then along with that, there is one more definition, that is, there is a integrity means, integrity, it means you are integrating with something else. And what is that? Integrating is, integrity is addition. Even the literal meaning of integrity is to be together with other things. So integrity, it is consistency in what you think, what you say, and what you do. If I think something, this belief, value, attitude, and behavior. See, if I am a person with integrity, then my belief directly impacts my behavior. If I don't have the strong factor of integrity, then it changes. My attitude is something else, my behavior is something else. My value system is something else, my behavior is something else. So the discrepancy happens. When you have this factor of integrity, then there will be consistency in what I think, what I say, and what I do. And usually this integrity is considered as a value of values. It acts as a basis of values. If you have the value of integrity, then other values eventually it develops inside you. So integrity is considered as a value of values because this acts as a base of your ethical development. And another aspect is that, see, integrity, it means that I am integrating with something else. Here I am integrating with society. Society has certain values. I'm integrating myself with the social values. I am integrating myself with organization value. If I am a doctor, then I have to integrate myself with the values of medical professionals. So integrity, it has a various definitions. On the whole, you understand that it is being honest when nobody is watching, and the integrity is consistency in thought, action, and thought, speech, and action. And integrity is that I am not influenced by any temptation. If there are any temptations from outside, I am not going to be influenced. At the same time, if there are any pressures outside, I am not going to be influenced that also. So my integrity is with respect to established standards, established norms. So this is with respect to integrity. So integrity is doing the right thing, even nobody is looking at you, even nobody is watching at you, even if there are adversities. So this is integrity, and this is considered as a value of values. This is considered as a base core of your ethical behavior. So if you have that integrity, rest of the values depends on integrity. So integrity is the core value system. It is value of values, and it is non-negotiable, and it is not a selective quality. It means that I will be integrate, I show my the value of integrity in certain circumstances, and some other circumstances I am not showcasing these values. No, this is not going to happen. If I am honest, I am honest at every situation, whether it is my family or someone's family, whether it is my office or my company or somebody else company. Integrity is integrity. It is non-negotiable, and it is not a selective quality, right? And for every values, I would suggest have at least 2 3 examples for every these kind of foundational values. If you just give it in a Google or some GPT, you will get a list of examples, and make a note of these examples. One thing, write down examples from eminent personalities. Another thing is, write down examples from your personal life also. For integrity, write down if any circumstances, any situation where you have faced where there was a question mark and on the quality of integrity, write down that also. So here I'm taking an example of Satyendra Dubey. He expressed, he showcased the professional integrity. There was a corruption in the golden quadrilateral project. This maybe around 20 years ago, there was a golden quadrilateral project, and for this project a lot of corruption related aspects were there, and he exposed these corruption in golden quadrilateral project, but unfortunately he had to sacrifice his life. That's very unfortunate part. But here what you have to think about it is, see, he has a very strong professional integrity. He knew that there was a danger to his life. Still he did not compromise with his values. Still he did not compromise with the professional integrity. So it is, you can write this for a courage, fortitude, fearlessness, for that example also. You can write it for integrity also, and you can write it for the spirit of service, dedication. For all these things you can use it in a very intelligent manner, right? Satyendra Dubey, that is one of the examples. And let's see the dimensions of integrity. There are three dimensions of integrity. The first is integrity from individual context. Even while giving introduction to integrity, I told you that integrity at my level, at social level, at organizational level, and this is called dimensions of integrity. Here integrity at individual level. At individual level, how exactly integrity we are going to, let's see the perspective of integrity from individual level. And there are two aspects you need to remember. One is moral integrity, another is intellectual integrity. Moral integrity is that if I am judging other person with certain standards, then I have to judge myself also with the same standards. See, if I think violence is bad, then for every situation violence is bad. And it's like I am telling you that violence is bad, but in my life I am indulging in violence. And if you ask me, I am giving clarification that why did I indulge in violence. I am giving clarification. So this is moral lack of moral integrity. If I have this moral integrity in me, then violence is bad in my personal life also, in your life also. So this is moral integrity. It means that there is consistency, there is honesty in the standards used for judging others as well as yourself. Moral integrity. And the second aspect, especially integrity in individual context, it is intellectual integrity. And what exactly this intellectual integrity is that, see, if I am advocating for something, then I have to practice that in my life also. See, I am telling you, don't be cruel, and this is the reason that I have become vegetarian. So I'm telling you, I'm giving suggestion that you become a vegetarian because it is so there's a lot of cruelty in that. But I am eating chicken biryani, everything. I am eating non-vegetarian food. I am enjoying non-vegetarian food. No, this is not the right thing to do. If I am advocating you something, then I should follow that also. I have to practice that also. So it means that being consistent and true in one's thinking. And one of the examples is Socrates. You can give this example. In Socrates, he was telling people to question the status quo and don't accept anything without questioning. He was telling that you have to question everything. This was the motto. He was telling youngsters, especially at that point of time. Then what happened? Administration, they were very angry, and they told that we are going to give you the punishment. See, you can still escape the punishment if you tell that don't do this to your followers. But he told that no, I'm not going to tell that. Through my whole life I have told everybody to question the status quo, to question the whatever the practice are there. Now if I compromise that, I will not be having this intellectual integrity, so I'm not going to compromise with that. So actually he also sacrificed his life and he accepted the punishment. There was a death penalty at that point of time. He accepted it. So this is an example for intellectual integrity. What I am preaching, I am practicing that. So integrity at individual context, there are two contexts. One is moral integrity. Two concepts you need to remember: moral integrity and intellectual integrity, right? And then let's talk about next dimension. Let's talk about source also before entering to the next dimension. Let's talk about source of personal integrity. Personal integrity, I told you that I am accountable to myself. I am answerable to my consciousness. It means that if I am answerable to my conscience, the control is internal. It is not the external rule of law, external regulation, society. It does not matter. I am answerable to my conscience. So entire control is within myself. There is an internal control. So that is the source of personal integrity. My value system, my beliefs are the factors for my personal integrity. So this cannot be, the personal integrity cannot be enforced through external commands. It is not possible. External control, it is not possible, because ultimately I am accountable to my conscience. I am responsible to my conscience. So external control in the form of rules, regulation, laws, punishment, the force complaints, it is not going to happen. It is not going to make sure, it is not going to turn person into an integrated person. No, this is not going to happen. And see, as long as you have internal consciousness, so your integrity is based on internal controls. So, and that is and that's why it's very important that the candidates who are entering civil services should have integrity as an important part of their personality. And that is the reason ethics has been it has become one of the subjects in your mains examination. For 250 marks you have ethics, so that you would understand these ethical concepts. And even in the probationary period also, focus will be giving on these ethical concepts, so that you would not indulge in any unethical or illegal activities in the uh, service. But case is not the same anyhow. So this is the source of personal integrity. And then integrity in social context. So personal level, one dimension, and this next dimension is social context. So integrity at social context, it means that society has certain standards, society has certain norms. So there are social standards, there are values of the society. Me being a part of the society, I have to uphold these values, I have to respect these standards, I have to adhere to these norms and standards. So if I am considered as socially integrated person, then I have to obey these standards, these norms, these value system. Then only I am accepted as a socially integrated person, or person who is showing social integrity or integrity at social level, right? And what are the social values in our country? Democracy is a social value, accepted now. Brotherhood and equality, secularism, tolerance, these are some of the values of our society. And I have to adhere, I have to uphold these values. Then only I am considered as a person who is showing integrity in social context, right? And another aspect is that, see, at my personal life I have certain values, and at social life it differs. Actually, in most of the time it happens. See, simple examples, you don't believe in caste, all these things, religion, all these things, but at the social level endogamy is practiced in your community, in your society. Now, individual level, there is an integrity factor, but at the social level it is not accepted. You are person of integrity at personal level, you're not person of integrity at social level. So it differs, it changes. So from the context of society, you are not a man of integrity, right? And this is one thing. And if you don't have these harmony of values of your personal life and the social life, it creates some kind of clash. So morals you follow in your personal life, individual, I have certain individual morals, and this morals comes in conflict or clash with ethics of the society. Ethics are the social norms, social standards, so that clash happens. So that also, it is going to create a lot of issues also. Then the same thing what I told you, that I may be person of integrity from the individual level, but I'm not considered as a in person of integrity from a social context. And the next dimension, professional integrity. Professional integrity, every profession has certain norms, certain standards. If I am a part of this particular profession, then I have to adhere, I have to uphold these professional values also. If I am a doctor, I have to ensure I follow medical ethics, medical values. If I am a teacher, I have to make sure that I follow the ethics or the standard norms of a teaching profession. If I'm a politician, then I have to adhere, uphold these values, political attributes, political values. So every profession deals with integrity in its own context. A person who shows a person in a profession shows integrity by acting in agreement with the relevant standard norms, values of that profession, right? If I am a doctor and me being a medical professional, my first priority is treating patients. Whatever the situation is, I have to make sure that I'm giving my best and best treatment is given. My objective here is to save the life of a person. So here these are some of the ethics. If I am a teacher, then I have to follow that non-discriminatory aspect. I should not be biased, I should not create opinion, or I should not demotivate my students. So these are some of the values I have to follow, being a teaching professional, right? See, we talked about integrity in a personal context, social context, and professional context. Here also, in order to, if I have to say that I am integrate, if I am a person of professional integrity, then I have to internalize these values. If I am a doctor and I am in a medical professional, I have to internalize these medical ethics in my conduct. I have to internalize this and I have to showcase this in my conduct, right? And usually in general, what are the values, what are the norms, standards we see, various, whether it is a a public service or some private organization, there are certain values which are normally accepted by in every profession. That is honesty, transparency, accountability, confidentiality, objectivity. These are some standard norm, standard value systems which are accepted in every profession, almost every profession. Obedience. So these are the things I need to have if I have to be called as person with professional integrity, right? Then there is a exception here. See, there are criminals, and even criminals, they have professional integrity. What is their professional integrity? Usually they mark the territory. Okay, this area I am going to handle it, you are not going to interfere. And another thief, these criminal elements, they decide that I am going to sell drugs in this area of B. So area of B is mine, you are not supposed to enter. And there is another person who has this area of C. Here they have the deal that I am not going to interfere in your area, you're not going to interfere in my area. Even though it looks everything that they have established rules and they are following the rules, but do you think these are all professional ethics? It is not, because criminal, it is a criminal activity and it is not accepted at the social level. See, this is considered as a disintegrated personality. These are antisocial elements, and when you follow these things, when you say that these are my professional, me being a criminal, I follow this professional integrity, no, this is not considered as professional integrity and this is not entertained at the social level, because there is an antisocial element. So there is an antisocial element. Because of that, even these distinctions you need to keep in mind, actually, when you answer the questions. And then, see, we talked about two things: integrity in individual context and social context. If there is a clash, again, this is going to create some kind of disharmony. In the same way, integrity, individual level and professional level. Again, your individual values are different, your professional values are different. This is also going to create some kind of disharmony, that you're not happy in your professions, your value system or something else. You have become a doctor to in order to save a life, but what you're doing is you are posted in a euthanasia segment where you have to kill a patient, or abortion center where your main attribute is to save people, but what you're doing is exactly the value system you joined, medical profession. So when these kind of things happens, the clash happens, the disharmony happens between the values of your personal life and the values of your professional life. Again, this is going to create problem. So it is not necessary that man having professional integrity will also have personal integrity and integrity in social context. Again, this is also, I am professionally integrated, I am a very good IAS officer, but if you look at my personal life, I am cheating in my married life. Or if I look at the social context, I am not showcasing the aspects of secularism, tolerance. Again, there is a mismatch. Professionally, I am a man of integrity, but I am not man of integrity from social context, I'm not a man of integrity from personal context. So here, one thing you need to remember with respect to dimensions of integrity: you may show integrity in one aspect, that does not mean that you show that aspect of integrity in other aspect, at social level and professional level. So this is what the dimension of integrity is talking about. Next, how do you deal with that? If there is no harmony, then this is going to impact your life also. This is going to create some kind of imbalance in your life. See, you need to have a harmony in all the three contexts, whether it is individual level, professional level, or social level, or else it is very difficult. See, professional level, you have integrity, but personal level, if you don't have that, you're not happy working there. What happens? You're going to leave, you're going to quit that job eventually. This is what happens. Personally, you are integrated, but you're not happy with the social context, you're not happy with the social norms. Then what happens? You become rebel, you become antisocial. So again, the consequences, it is not something positive if you don't handle these discrepancy of your value system. So what is necessary? You have to maintain the equilibrium has to be maintained between your individual integrity, individual value system, organizational integrity, and the social integrity. See, if it is disturbed, or if you feel like it is getting disturbed, then it is in your hands. You have to resolve it and you have to find a solution. How do you find a solution? Either you adapt to the new changes, either you change your personal integrity, the factors of personal integrity, or you change your social integrity factors or professional integrity factors. You're not happy with that profession, change it. So either you go for an adoption or change these values and norms, or you go for an integration, that you accept it everything. So these are some of the ways you can handle these discrepancies. So this is what the dimensions of integrity is talking about. When you understand the dimensions of integrity, then you understand yourself. What are your value system, and what are the value systems of your society, and what are the value systems of your profession. So you get the complete idea. Eventually this will lead to the emotional intelligence. The fourth unit is emotional intelligence. There you will understand what exactly it is. So this is the dimensions of integrity. And the next important aspect, integrity in civil services. Integrity, why do we need integrity in civil services? The same thing. Why is it important? Why foundational values are important in civil services? The same answer you can write it here also. The fodder material I have given, you can replicate it here also, right? But very precisely, second ARC, it has given what to do and what not to do. It has given a list of what being a civil servant, what you should do, and being a civil servant, what you should not do. Let's talk about integrity in civil services. It means that if you showcase this value of integrity, then you have to adhere to these values, and you should not do whatever it has been mentioned by second RC. The must do, you should follow that. Must not do, you should not do it. And what if I have to showcase my integrity, then what are the aspects I need to focus? One thing is I have to fulfill my duties and obligations very responsibly. It is not that I have made a commitment, I come office at 9 o'clock, I go at 5 o'clock. No, this is not the case. Responsible working, the responsible fulfillment of duty should be there. And then thing is, you have to make sure that public money, public resources, they are used properly. They are not misused, they are not underused, they are not overutilized. That also there is a responsibility on you. And whatever the public, you talk to the political representatives, you talk to the public, ultimately public welfare is in your hands. You make sure that everything, whenever you deal with the public, you have these aspects of fairness. You there should be efficiency, there should be effectivity, and you also showcase the aspect of sensitivity, and ultimately excellence, innovation. These values you have to you have to uphold it. And then handle information as openly as possible within the legal framework. It is talking about transparency. And then comply with law and uphold the administration of just the aspect of justice. The bias, there should not be any bias, there should be aspect of equality. So these are some of the must to do civil servant, the aspects followed by civil servant. If you are integrated to the rules of civil services, then you have to follow these aspects, right? What you should do. Then you being a civil servant, what you should not do. One thing is misuse of your official position. Again, if you misuse it, eventually it will, first it will be showcased as a conflict of interest. If you don't take action, then it leads to the misuse of your official position. So you should not misuse your official position for your private benefit, for your personal benefit. This is one thing. And you should not accept any gifts or any these kind of hospitality aspects or any benefits. It looks like you're compromising your official position, you're compromising your official authorities. So don't, ultimately this is talking about corruption. Don't involve in all these aspects of corruption, nepotism, favoritism. No, you're not, you should not, so must not. And then you should not disclose any official information without any authority, and this applies even after you retire. Even after you retire from civil services, make sure that you should not disclose or divert these informations. So these are do's and don'ts if you follow the factor of integrity in civil services. And relevance, why is it important? It builds public trust. So whatever the importance of the foundational value, the same thing you can repeat here also. It builds trust, it prevents corruption, nepotism, favoritism. It ensures rule of law. Integrity, I am integrated to the civil services rules. If I am integrated to the civil service rules, I mean it means that I am following rules efficiently and effectively. So it ensures rule of law, I am following the rule of law. And it improves efficiency and quality of delivery, because I have the factor of dedication and spirit of service that is going to improve the efficiency, and I'm committed for the welfare of the people. And it upholds constitutional morality. It enhances credibility of governance. People that, since it builds public trust, in turn it is going to enhance the credibility of governance. and it builds institutional culture. The work culture will also be positive. If I have this value of integrity, then the people around me or my junior, if I am mentor of somebody, they are also going to inculcate this value of integrity. So it is going to build an institutional culture. And next, what are the challenges for this? See, I have to showcase this factor of integrity, but there are challenges. And what are these challenges? The first is political pressure. The political interference and political pressure, it is very much evident in Indian civil services, in Indian public administration. This is one of the factors. If I don't comply to political pressure, then I will be transferred. The example of Ashok Kempa, he has been transferred more than 50 times just because he is not complying with political interference, political pressure. He has been transferred there. Now here he's showcasing integrity, but this integrity is not accepted or appreciated by political leadership. So political pressure and corruption culture. I am an IAS officer here in this office. All my juniors or the people working under me, everybody is corrupt. Then how do I uphold this factor of integrity in the conduct? However I try, people around me, they are not letting me to do that. That also, if the work culture itself is negative, I cannot uphold this factor of integrity. Then conflict of interest, if I don't handle this conflict of interest also, this is going to compromise the integrity factor. Again the same thing, corruption culture, weak ethical environment. If there are no ethics, standard norms, morals, values in my culture, if all my seniors are corrupt, if my juniors are corrupt, all my colleagues are corrupt, then how can I enhance this? How can I implement this factor of integrity? That is also a factor. And if I don't, if people don't have that awareness of code of ethics, these are some certain standard norms being an organization they have to follow. Code of ethics, if you look at the judiciary, what are the if you go through the code of ethics, justice, truth, these are few values comes under the code of ethics. So here, if I people who are working in an organization in public sector, if they don't have this code of ethics, again it is going to be compromised. And the social expectations also, usually people think that an officer, there is an accepted norm in the society that if you are in a government service, they think that you are making a lot of money. So people themselves are not expecting you to be honest here. That has, see, this the psyche of the people has become in a certain way that the expectation has gone down. People don't even expect that if you become an IAS IPS officer, you will be honest. They don't think that. In turn, they will think that you're going to make a lot of money being an officer. See, this is what they think. Even the social expectations, it is also impacting the integrity in civil services. And lack of protection for whistleblowers. Lack of protection, it means that whistleblowers are the one who showcase the corrupt, who showcase unethical, illegal activity in an organization. If they are targeted, if there is no protection for them, eventually they are not going to raise these kind of issues. When there is no questioning authority or there is no accountability factor, there is, it is going to impact the integrity factor in a organization, integrity factor in a civil services. So these are some of the challenges of integrity in civil services. Then how do you inculcate it? How do you deal with this? How do you inculcate it? One thing is ethical training and value based education, and then transparent rules and procedures. Ethical training and value based education, even the ethics paper what you have in the mains examination, and even during the training also, the probationary period, there also they focus on ethical concepts. And then transparent rules and procedures, the transparency, like initiations like RTA, citizens charter. These are some of the initiatives supports transparent rules and procedures. And if there is a strong ethical leadership and mentorship, if I am mentored by efficient personality, then I am going to inculcate his values also, and I respect these values and I observe these values. So ethical leadership is also very much important. And then incentivization, incentivize the ethical conduct, incentivize the factor of integrity. But what is happening in our country, it is exact opposite. The same example of Ashok Kevka, he's showing the factor of integrity, but he has been penalized by doing frequent transfers and frequent change of posting. So incentivization should be there. On code of ethics, if I am a part of the civil services, I should imbibe these code of ethics, whatever the values mentioned in the code of ethics, I should imbibe that. And accountability framework, I have to, if there is an accountability framework, it means that I am answerable to my actions. If accountability frameworks are very strong, then I make sure that I am not going to bypass any of the law. So accountability framework is also very much important. And random integrity test and exercise, these are some of the ways through which you can inculcate integrity in civil services. And another aspect I want to tell you that there are three aspects we talked about: relevance, your relevance, then we talked about challenges, then we talked about inculcate. How do you inculcate these values? And these same things can be replicated for other foundational values also. For next we are going to have talk about dedication, we are going to talk about impartiality, non-partisanship, objectivity, all these things you can replicate the same thing, just intelligently change the wordings. I think this is it for integrity. Now let's move to the next one. The next foundational value we are going to talk about is dedication. Again, dedication, uh, commitment and dedication, these two terminologies, it is mentioned in second ARC 10th report. So again, we are taking up the same values here. Dedication, what exactly dedication means? Dedication is that the person could able to apply, say I am a person here, I apply my time, my attention and myself entirely towards particular activity. It may be towards a cause or it may be towards a person. So it depends on the, if I'm working for an organization, then I have to be dedicated to that organization. If I'm working for a public service, for a public, for citizen, then my dedication towards the welfare of the people. So dedication, it is that quality of being able to give one's time, attention or myself devoted to one particular cause, or it may be an activity or towards a person. So this is what dedication is. That dedication is considered as highest form of commitment. First, let's talk about commitment, then it would be easier for you to understand the dedication. What is the commitment? See, if I am a doctor, I appointed as a doctor, then I come to hospital around 9 o'clock, and it is a timings given to me, and I have to go back by, sorry, morning 9, and I have to go back by evening 5 o'clock. This is my timetable. If I am committed, I come at 9 and I go at 5. So this is commitment, that I am fulfilling my commitment. I have signed an agreement and I'm fulfilling that agreement. Now, if I have the dedication, I make sure that here within this 8 hours I'm working there, I make sure that I give my best. Here, my priority is the public health. Here, my priority is that I have to solve the problem. The person is, a patient is coming to me. It is my objective, me being a doctor, I have to make sure that this person is not facing I have to make sure that I have to solve his problem. So if dedication is, it means that I will be there every day. I come to hospital, but I'm least bothered. I'll check the patients, I'll give the medicines, but I'm not bothered about whether they're recovering or not. This is not there. But if you have the dedication, you make sure that they are recovering. You make sure that you give best treatment to them. You make sure that you are covering every aspect of this particular patient. So this is the differentiation between dedication and commitment. So dedication is nothing but commitment with passion and love. So it is a personal urge to attain certain objective, or it is a kind of devotion. You are devoting yourself to a particular cause. And another thing is that when you have that dedication, you don't care whether other person is seeing you, whether other person is appreciating you. You are not bothered about that. It means that dedication always suggests that one is devoted even if there is no formal commitment. Right? This is dedication. Now, see, yes, one more thing I told you, that if I am a dedicated person, if I am a dedicated public servant, then even if there are any difficulties in my conduct, I am going to ignore them because I am dedicated to the cause. I am dedicated to the welfare of the public. My focus is on welfare aspect. I am not worried about all these unnecessary discouragement, all these criticism. I am least bothered about it. I am focused because of dedication. It is giving me focus, and my focus is whatever the objective I am committed to. So even if there is an spite, there are difficulties, there are adversities, there are discouragement, there are disinvestments, incentives, still I am going to be dedicated for a cause. So dedication, it initially it is commitment, then comes dedication, it is commitment, this lead to the dedication, and this lead to the perseverance. So it leads to the perseverance. And you have to give the example also. One of the examples is IAS, is an IAS officer from a northeastern state, Armstrong Pym. See, he wanted to build a 100-kilometer road in Manipur. And here what happened, government did not had funds at that point of time, and he could not able to get the proper funding. Then, but he realized uh, there is necessity of this particular road. Then what he does is, he raised this funding from a people, and he built that road without involvement of government finance. So here, see, if any other civil servant in that position, he thinks that it is none of my business. If government gives the money, I will build the road, or else it's fine. When maybe after 3 4 years, government may release the fund. At that time, somebody will be the officer. He is going to build the road. But here, since he has that factor of dedication, so that dedication converted it lead to the perseverance, and it leads to the innovation factor, and he find a solution for this problem. He knew that eventually it leads to perseverance, it leads to the empathy, and empathy turned into compassion. And because of all these factors, cumulative factors, he could able to build the road without any government funding. So here there is a commitment, there is a dedication for public welfare. Since he has the dedication, he made sure that infrastructure is built for the people. He knew that this infrastructure is extremely necessary for the development of this region. He knew that this infrastructure is very much necessary for the social development, economic development of that region. So he took that innovation, he took that risk for the development of this road. And this is the dedication. When you have this dedication, you find a solution, you find an innovative, creative approach to find a solution for the problem. So this is dedication. Now let's see from a public service perspective, civil service perspective. See, dedication is, it is unwavering commitment to serve the nation. And serve the nation, it means that I want to uphold the public welfare, and I have to discharge my duty selflessly, efficiently, and ethically also, not compromising any law. Dedication does not mean that I am going to compromise the law. No, factor of integrity should be there, factor of innovation should be there, factor of empathy should be there. All these things eventually make sure the factor of dedication is going to be strengthened by all these subordinate factors, right? So it embodies sense of mission, duty, devotion. Ultimately my objective is public welfare, improving the life and to provide the facilities. So dedication from public service perspective. And here dedication, it is not just performing the task, it is about fulfilling my task with sincerity, with enthusiasm, with empathy. And I should have the deep sense of responsibility towards society also. So, dedicated civil servant, usually he goes beyond the routine functioning, and his works are, or the services are delivered impartially, promptly, and effectively. Right. So, this is dedication to public service. Now, importance, again, importance, the same thing, whatever we discussed, importance of public services, relevance in the integrity, the same thing here you can replicate. So, along with that, I am giving few other factors here why dedication is important for the public service. Why is it important? Because public service, it is not just a formal commitment, it is beyond that. I have to perform my duty because I am directly impacting the lives of thousands, maybe lakhs of people. So within a district there are lakh of people, and my decisions, my uh, duties are going to impact these people. So it is not just a work, it is not just a job, it is beyond the formal commitment. For that reason, civil servants should have the factor of dedication. And if I have the this attribute of dedication, then I am going to integrate myself with the public welfare. If I don't have that dedication, then I come office, anyhow I know that I'm going to get the salary and there is a security, job security, so I'm going to eventually go back. I don't even bother what is happening with the people. But if I have this factor of dedication, I integrate myself with the idea of public welfare. So I equate myself, I give my 100%. And I told you that commitment leads to, the next version is dedication, dedication next version is perseverance. So it leads to perseverance. Perseverance, it what, even there is a hostile condition, working condition is very bad, but still I am going to give my best because there is a perseverance, there is a dedication in my attribute, in my attitude, right? And India, it is a developing country, and in order to turn into a developed country, we need that effort, we need that honesty, we need that spirit of service, we need that dedication. And in order to move from developing to developed country, for this transition we need this dedication, right? Because motivated officers, if officers with dedication, they are going to minimize the delays, they are going to remove the red tapeism, they are going to remove the corruption, nepotism, favoritism, all these aspects. They make administration ethical, they make administration legal. And then in our country, a large vulnerable sections are there. There are minorities, economic minorities, social minorities, religious minorities. So vulnerable sections are there, and upliftment of these vulnerable sections, it is extremely important to have a overall public welfare. And how do you do that? If I have this commitment and dedication, then only I can work for upliftment of vulnerable sections. And hostile work culture, I told you that all my junior seniors, they are corrupt. And now I feel if I don't have dedication, I'm going to give up on someday. I feel like whatever honesty, whatever hard work I do, it is not going to give me any benefits, because everybody around me, they are corrupt. My juniors are corrupt, my seniors are corrupt, my colleagues are corrupt, and even the political representatives, MP, MLA of that constituency are also corrupt. Then what would I do? How do I handle this? So without dedication, you are going to give up. But here, if you have this dedication, you are going to counter this hostile or some kind of evil work culture also. That is the advantage of dedication. And dedicated officers, they are going to find a creative solution. The same example of Armstrong Payne, the dedicated officers, because they develop empathy. When you have this empathy and compassion, you know that what other person is going through. When you have these values in you, you find a solution to the existing problem. So you're going to find a creative solution to the local problems. Or else what happens, you just see that okay, this is not available, the procedure, whatever the procedures are there, you are going to quote it and you are going to take your hands off. But you are dedicated, you are going to find a solution, right? Then next is, what are the sources, what are the basis of this? One thing is constitution, and there is a legal basis also. Constitution, if you look at it, preamble, it talks about justice, equality, welfare, all these things. DPSP, that is also another basis. All India Service Conduct Rules, Citizen Charter Guidelines, second ARC recommendations, all these things considered as a legal basis for the dedication. And dedication to public service, it draws inspiration from all these things, right? Then what are the threats to dedication? One thing is bureaucratic apathy. I told you that everybody around me is corrupt, and it is kind of discouraging factor for me. If I don't, some way I'm going to give up. I'm working hard for 365 days, but someday I feel like whatever I do, nothing is going positively. So it is going to create some kind of bureaucratic apathy. Already is there, and even I am also going to build that. So bureaucratic apathy, it is going to rule out, it is going to distract my dedication, my spirit of service. And then political interference, I want to give my best, but the control is with the political leadership. They have to release the funds, they have to make the policies. I am only doing policy implementation. If they interfere a lot, again, it feels like, what am I doing? These people are mishandling everything. What is the point of doing this? I'm going to give up. So again, this is another threat to dedication. And poor infrastructure and staffing also, because I want to give my best, but there is no infrastructure support. See, if I have to give public service to the 10 lakh people in a district, then I need efficient infrastructure also, I need resources also. If there is no infrastructure, if infrastructure is very poor, and I don't have a supportive staff, I don't have a proper funding, that is also going to impact my dedication. Then I feel like, what is the point of uh, giving my 100% when infrastructure itself, it is not built for it? So that is also another threat. And very high stress and low emotional intelligence, long hours, and physical and mental exhaustion, these are also reasons for uh, erosion of dedication in public service. I think this is it. We talked about integrity, we talked about dedication, the aspects of relevance, threats, relevance, importance, or necessity, they are same, and threats, challenges, they are same. And how to inculcate, how do you develop, these are same. If the question comes, you can replicate the same thing for all other foundational values also. And thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.